Hello all. So we are going to reach preliminary examination very soon. So we'll see some important topics. First, I'll deal with polity. Okay? 10 important topics I have categorized and 10 important themes that you should revise. So first theme is actually go for this Parliament chapter very well this time. Parliament chapter, you have to cover everything. The composition, so in this I have written something, but the composition, how the Lok Sabha is there, Rajya Sabha is there. This time the composition I think is important because there is a delimitation commission which is going to come, which is going to increase the seats, and how it is going to be increased between the southern states and the northern states. That's a debate. So please check how the delimitation commission is. See, anyways, you have to check how many times they have been there. You can write the you can write. So how many times they have been there for states and center, how it has been there for the delimitation commission. So adjacent to that is this reservation for women's bill. This reservation of women's bill, how is it going to be implemented? So you can also add as to the case of census. So this also you can add. How census is going to be conducted, how many times the census is conducted, what are the, when it was started, what was the time it was started. Also look at the history. So who was the first person who was responsible for census and everything? You have to please check. Okay, so you have to check this. Next, you think about this question on how a bill lapses. So in terms of the bill, money bill, ordinary bill, and the constitutional amendment bill, how the bill lapses in the sense, why? Because this reservation of women's bill was there in the Rajya Sabha. It did not lapse because the Lok Sabha was dissolved. It was passed in very early times, in the UPA times itself. Now it has been passed in the Lok Sabha. Now it has to have this reservation or the delimitation, then it will be implemented. So you have to see all this holistically, then come to this position of signing of bill by governors and the president. So you should know there is a problem between the center and the states in relation to the governor's issue on non-signing of the bill. So what are the clauses, and especially what are the central reservations, or you can say what are the meanings or what are the means through which the governor is mandated to reserve? Is there any category of things that the reservation has to be confirmed? High Court related bill, definitely yes. But other things, what and all are there? Like 368, you have to have amendments. If it is related to the center-state relation, you have to have some kind of majority amendment and things like that, right? So look at what are the central reservation that the governor has to do in terms of reservation of bill. So then look at this disqualification very carefully. Disqualification in terms of the article which is given, disqualification in terms of representation of People's Act also. This time Rahul Gandhi, Mahua Maitra was actually disqualified for some reason, right? So what is the difference between these two disqualification? And this time many of the people were suspended. So what is the difference between suspension of a candidate, MLA or an MP, and disqualification? Who is the person responsible for suspension? Who is the person responsible for disqualification? So these two things, see, I'm not going to explain, it will get late. So you please have to check, because this authority who is responsible for suspension and the authority responsible for disqualification is important. And this time privileges, look at, see, this is overall broad contour for revision. It's not like pointing fingers at you have to see this only. Privileges, recently there was a case against the governor in West Bengal, or not a case, there is an issue going on, and he has claimed for privileges of governor and president. There is an 361, I think. Can you check that? So what are the privileges? See, privileges of an MP, you have to check it here. Privileges of an MP, you have to check it here because they have been suspended. But privileges of the governor and the president as to what kind of an in criminal case, Please check both these things. In terms of a civil case, what is the disqualification? In terms of a criminal case, what kind of a disqualification, how it can be done, who is responsible, everything you have to check. Okay. Now, then the point is that vote on account, so we have this interim bill, right? Or interim budget. Okay. What is this interim budget? What is this interim budget and this vote on account? Clearly check it in. Everything check it in Lakshmikant. Okay. Everything, please check it in Lakshmikant. Don't waste your time in any other thing, please. Now come to this point. Judges, see, they will distribute questions. In case of judges, I feel that, there is a concept of resignation of judges and, they're taking up political jobs and things like that. And also, please check this judges, not resignation. After retirement, who can be an MP, who can be, whether a judge, Supreme Court judge, can after retirement become a lawyer, a High Court judge, after retirement, can he become a lawyer? A normal district judge, after retirement, can he become a lawyer? Or can he have any post which, among the government? Please, can you check that? So this is the first part which I wanted to say. This parliament is very, very important. Now you can also go for parliament is a building that they have built. In terms of history also, please check what is the meaning of this parliament and what is this, there is a symbol for Rajya Sabha, symbol for Lok Sabha. One thing is peacock, I think another one is some different. Please check that. Okay, these two things you have to check. Now we will go to this, rights and laws, or some important rights and laws. I feel this MSP law, or it is not a law. I think you know that, right? Bharat Ratna for Swaminathan, this time they gave. So, and he also passed away this time. So, MSP law, MSP related anything, please check that. Okay. Then the point is that this IPC, CRPC, evidence, bail, jail, bail, jail. Please check what are the meanings of all these things. They have, introduced a new thing, but please check in terms of the overall contours of what is the meaning of it. Don't go deep into it, but I think somewhere IPC, CRPC, what is the difference between IPC, CRPC, Evidence Act and bail? So now this time many of the persons have not been granted bail. Bail in terms of, people arrested in preventive detention and normal. So what is the difference between the bail for these two people? So there is an act of UAPA. Many of the people have not been given bail. So what is the difference between bail in this and this? Next, you will see that there is an election season which is there. So this was a Supreme Court verdict. This was a Supreme Court verdict as to the appointment of election commissioners. Now the government has brought one difference in that from the thing that the Supreme Court has said. So how are they, elected or whatever they have appointed? What is the mechanism for them? What is the qualification for them? Everything. Okay, what is the qualification for them? This I have already explained, right? Representation of People's Act 1950 also please add it, because election process has undergone. Please check, for example, what are the disqualification I said, Rahul Gandhi and the other people were disqualified. Qualification of a candidate, not candidate, a person who can vote, can mentally unstable people, or you can call as mentally, what to say, people who are not mentally okay, can they be allowed to vote? Or is there any vote for example, people from army? How can they vote? What is this postal ballot? Okay, all these things. What is this postal ballot? Representation of People's Act 1951-50. Here, disqualification. Here, all these qualifications. What are the points that you have to have? Next, vacation of seats. Vacation of seats, in that, what I mean is that if a person is elected for Rajya Sabha, so let us assume that he is a member of Lok Sabha and he is elected for Rajya Sabha. So which seat he will vacate? He is a member of, opposite also, please check it. This kind of, and one more thing is that expenses. As to the expenses, what expenses of an MP or an MLA has to be there. If, for example, one particular expenses has been there for an MP and MLA, what is the difference in that? Which is higher? Okay. And the model code of conduct, please check it. This time, does it have any legal backing? Does it have any legal backing? Under what article that this is done? Okay, under what article this is done? So this is the Election Commission, and the fundamental rights, DPSP preamble, and also fundamental duties have to be studied together. It cannot be studied separately. It's a same thing. So in that, this time I feel this Article 21, environmental right, already this is a question in 2020 or 12. This is a question in 2012. Under what article this NGT was passed? So Article 21 is a right under which environment is actually protected. Then there is an inequality discussion which is happening in India right now. Wealth tax, inequality, Gini coefficient, everything is there. In this, what does DPSP say? Inequality, what does DPSP say about it? What is the meaning of a wealth tax and things like that? Then this fundamental duty, as I said, see, one question from anything related to national symbol, you have to check. I think last time it was asked as flag. This time something related to the parliament which they have opened, and anything related to the symbols which are there, please check it. And then right to know. So electoral bonds, I don't think they are going to ask directly, but electoral right to bond. Sorry, okay, right to know. Under that, what article electoral bonds had been dismissed as unconstitutional? So it was Article 19 or 21, something like that. Then Bharat Ratna, how many? I think this time 5 they have given. One I said, please look at Dr. Swaminathan. Okay, Dr. Swaminathan, definitely something related to that. Okay, something related to him. And Bharat Ratna, does it have any constitutional backing? Does it already 2021 question, I think 21, 22. But one more time, please look at it. And minorities, can you look at it? This time, there are so many issues related to minority reservation discussion. There is a case in Supreme Court related to minorities, Christian minority reservation also is there. And elections, you will know that there is a minority-based discussion. Minorities, language, religion. So what is the basis of these two things? What kind of an thing that is done for these two things? Then there is a citizenship amendment bill. What kind of a citizenship amendment means to the constitution? Yesterday, I think people from Pakistan who were of religion, Hindu religion, have been granted citizenship yesterday. Look at this in a little, what is the meaning of it, how they were granted. So there is basically a difference in time period. That's it. Normally, you can apply what is a registration, naturalization, how this is done, whether it is through registration or naturalization or whatever the process is. Please look at this. Next, 6th schedule. This, I think you would know. Last time they asked 5th schedule. This time, 6th schedule, Union Territory. What is the, so this is in Northeast. So what are the places in Northeast which contains this 6th schedule? What are the places? If it is a place now, please check what is the place. Now, Union Territory, Ladakh, they have opted for this, or they are asking for it. There has been a protest for a very long time. This you have to check, and there is an incursion of China in Ladakh as well. This area itself is important. One question related to National Park, Hemis National Park. So that day we discussed Somomori. So or this anything one in this will come. Then center-state relation. This Article 293, borrowing limits of the states. Please mark this down. something related to borrowing of the state, especially state in Kerala and other states have also, Karnataka, I think, also have gone to the Supreme Court and they have gotten this justice, this article and the meaning of it. What borrowing means, whether a state can borrow from international organizations, whether the state can borrow internally, what is the meaning of state development bonds? What is a bond T-bill? What is a state development bond? What is the difference between these two? Please check it. And then I'll come to this center-state relation. This list, this time, please check it. This list, state list, central list, go through it once. In that inheritance, what is the meaning of inheritance of an estate? Who is concerned with inheritance of agricultural land? Who is concerned with the inheritance of non-agricultural land? Who is going to be responsible for taxing wealth? Where, in which list it is? Can you check that? So these two lists, and then one topic related to Panchayat Raj is a must. Gram Sabha, everything. I think there is an issue going on in Nagaland, reservation for women in urban local bodies. Reservation for women in urban local bodies. Along with it, look at these special provisions which are here. See, 370 was abrogated. 370 was abrogated. 371A is Nagaland, and there is a crisis in Manipur as well. Manipur also has a special provision. This whole thing should be clubbed together along with this urban local body and seen. Then you go for this union territory. Now only I said, so Jammu Kashmir 370 abrogation, how it was done. Whether in a sense state can be formed without the confirmation of a state legislature, or is there necessary for state to confirm their distortion of boundaries or places to be taken, how it is done, whether it is there to the union or it is to the state. And last but not the least, and this I think is extra topics, UAPA, please check it. This is something, please check it. Last time I think it was POTA, okay, POTA Act, something related to this. UAPA, look at what is the difference. What is the difference between preventive detention? Then offshore minerals. There has been a convention of high seas as well. See, this time there has been a convention on high sea. Whether India has signed that, ratified that, whether, UNCLOS, United Nations Law of Seas, is this responsible for the convention of high seas? And what are the minerals, or who is responsible, whether the state is responsible or the center is responsible for offshore minerals? So like 293, you come down, you will have an article for offshore minerals as well. This I think I have said, minorities, language and religion, please check it. And last but not the least, CM arrest. Kejriwal had been arrested, Jharkhand CM has been arrested, and many of the ministers have been arrested. So privileges of these people, how were they arrested? Privileges of these people, who authorizes them? If they have to be arrested, let us assume the CM has to be arrested, how you can arrest? And last, maybe I will add this also. The STEM schedule, I think last class, it was asked, but it is an issue in Maharashtra, has been there for a long time. And last but not the least, we'll end with this. I think you will know this. Election symbol, there was a problem this time as well. For Shiv Sena in Maharashtra also, there was a problem. Who is giving this symbol? How they are giving this symbol? What is the authorization for this? I hope we will complete this. I think we have covered most of this. See, it's not an important topic list. It's a framework for studying polity. Use this framework, complete everything. You will, I wish you all very best. Thank you.